All right, everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about a 24-hour extraction checklist. These are things that you need to do if things are kind of collapsing where you're at. This is especially for a lot of Americans out there who are in Venezuela or in the splash zone of Colombia or Panama. Understand that this may be a time that you need to protect yourself. So let's talk about your protection. The first thing that you need to do is shut up. Stop speaking English. If you know Spanish, use Spanish. If you know German, use German. If you can pretend to be Canadian, throw a few A's in there, do what you have to do. This is a time not to put on the MAGA hat and get out there and talk about how proud you are of America and how, what we just did in Venezuela is a good thing. Don't do that. It's a terrible thing to do. Understand that you are now a target of someone's political frustration, that you need to keep as low of a profile as you can. Like I said, no MAGA hats, no flag t-shirts, no being loud at the cafe. Don't go to the bar, don't go to the nightclub, don't go to places where people are drinking or under the influences, where their inhibitions are lowered and they may act out, especially in this situation. I know we all like to post on Instagram, post on Facebook, TikTok, whatever, when we're traveling, but this is a good time to go dark. People are going to be on the lookout for soft targets. As an American alone in a foreign country, that is exactly what you are. So understand that agitators do look for geolocations to target individuals that they might be able to exploit. So don't put yourself in that position. Go dark from social media for just a bit. If you do have the ability to get out for 2 weeks, maybe a vacation to Mexico just while the dust settles and we actually know what's going on next, that might be the best thing to do. In the meantime, go to the website of the U.S. Embassy in the region that you're in. If you haven't already checked in, go ahead and do that. There are muster points there in case things do break down. Know those muster points. Have a go bag ready. Have a stay bag ready. They are different. A go bag is enough supplies for 24 hours. A stay bag, that's 7 days worth of food, water, hygiene essentials, right? Not makeup, not camera equipment. This is survival base. Get your stuff and go. Be prepared. Like I said, if the embassy doesn't know that you are in the region as part of the STEP program, go to step.state.gov. Do it now and register, because that's the only way that the embassy can actually contact you and give you those muster point details. For your go bag, remember that you need to pack for speed. Let's expand on that a little bit. Make sure that all your paperwork is already in there. Your passport, your local ID, physical photocopies of those IDs. Because if the power goes out, your phone is a brick, it's not going to help you out in the embassy. They're not going to know who you are. In crisis like this, cash is king, and US dollar still holds a lot of value. Keep cash on hand just in case. $1,000 is always a safe and recommended amount in small bills, nothing too crazy. But when things change and when things go down fast, ATMs are one of the first things to be overran. And if they fail and you have no money, you might not be able to give a bribe to somebody if that bribe is needed. And of course, medications, if you're getting that bag ready, make sure that all your medications that are needed are in there and ready to go. Speed is king in survival when it comes to getting out of a dangerous place. It is a very important thing for you to be prepared. Don't just watch the news. Don't just watch this video and scroll to something about pop culture. No, be active, be proactive, prepare yourself for if you need to get out. This is a real situation. This isn't something that's just on the news. Like I said in the previous video, if you're in Colombia, if you're in Panama, you're in a splash zone and people are going to be fleeing Venezuela. Supporters of Maduro especially those who are in his military, they're going to be fleeing, going to places like Panama, going to places like Colombia. They're going to end up in places like Bogota and Medellin. And you, again, are a symbol of an invader that just conquered their country. So, though I hope it does not happen, I would not be surprised if we do see a level of reprisals happen, and the softest target is going to be either tourist locations or known expat communities. Going back to the go bag real quick, the last item you need to have in there is a power bank. Your phone doesn't have to be a brick. It doesn't have to be useless. It can be a map. It could be a lifeline. It is something that's needed. Have a power bank fully charged and ready to go that you can just throw in your go bag last minute and head out. Next, we need to talk about the trigger points. This is essentially, hey, when you grab your bag and get the hell out of town. If major airlines start to cancel travel in and out of that country, it's a sign that you need to get out now before you run out of options. If local unions and militias start to call for strikes, it's only a matter of time before roads are blocked off and you don't have ability to get to an airport. get to there quick. And then, of course, there's the level 4 shift, which is the embassy saying, do not travel. And that's their polite way of saying, you're on your own. This is not a good place to be. The last phase of this conversation, probably one of the most important, is your extraction route. Understand where you're going. Have different routes that you can take to get to the destination that you need. If you think you need to get out of the country and you can't find a flight back to America, find a flight to the nearest country, whether that be Panama, whether that be Costa Rica, whether that be Mexico. And remember, don't use a taxi during this time. Always use Uber. Do not get into a random car. Never hail a taxi during street unrest. This is an excellent time for you to get wrapped up and kidnapped. And of course, only move during daylight hours. We always have a thought that we need to move at night, but the fact is most crime, most violence is going to happen at night and not during the middle of the day. You're not going to be able to move like a native person, right? A foreigner, an expat, they're always going to stick out wherever they're from because they don't move like the native population. Just like when somebody comes to the United States, more than likely you can pick out if they're from here or not, they can do the exact same thing to you. Only move during daylight hours, more specifically between 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. because nighttime will always belong to chaos, and chaos is not a place that you want to be near. Stay frosty, stay quiet, and have your bag by the door. And I'll keep you posted as this Maduro situation continues to unravel. Everyone, stay safe. Any questions or concerns, please put them down in the comment section. Like and subscribe. Hype the channel, please, to get the message out there, because no one's talking about the impact on the people that are there in that region right now. Right? We're talking about the long game. We're talking about rebuilding. But you have American citizens who are incredibly vulnerable right now. And we're not a small channel anymore. So I know that there's a lot of you out there right now who might feel that kind of flicker of fear that, I am alone. My government's acting up. This can fall down on my shoulders, and it might. It is a possibility. It is a very real thing. So again, tell me what you think. We're going to do a follow-up video talking about what you can do personally to make sure that you're safe in a hostile environment. I'm going to lean on my military experience and training on this one. This preparation is key if you have to make a move or if things do degrade in that region. So again, thank you for watching, and keep your head on a swivel. Stay safe.
Hi, I'm a former diplomat, and I would like to encourage you to watch this entire video, primarily because I want to convince you that you need to prepare and pack a go bag. Story time. So as a former diplomat, I've lived in a bunch of different countries and have lived through coups, counter-coups, popular revolutions, and terror attacks. And because I lived through all of those things, I have learned very quickly that you need to have a go bag. What is a go bag? A go bag is a bag that you pick up and go and take with you on a moment's notice if something pops off, in the country that you're in. Gunfire is happening, the airport's about to close down, airspace is about to close down, and you need to get out as quickly as humanly possible. You don't want to take the time to think through all the things that you want and need in a moment of panic, right? And so the logic behind having a go bag is that you have taken the time to think through what you need for like a period of 72 hours, even 5 days, to get you through whatever the current crisis is. For me, that is my medications, my travel documents, copies of my documents, marriage license, birth certificates, adoption decrees, etc. All of that kind of stuff, plus underwear, socks, jeans, t-shirts, like something to comb my hair with, all of the things. So we're living in the United States, so why is any of this relevant? And it's relevant because we're living in the United States. It is September 2025, and there have been a series of events that have happened since January 20th, 2025 that caused me some consternation as someone who has lived in countries where there were coups and counter coups and popular revolutions and terror attacks, right? And this post is not meant to be political. It's not meant to be anything other than preparatory, right? Like, as someone who likes to be prepared, particularly prepared for a crisis, I want as many people under the sound of my voice to hear me when I say, you will thank me one day when you prepare and pack a go bag. Peace and blessings to you.